Good morning, Ma'am Alma and classmates. Today I am the presenter in our English lessons. Before I start, I will introduce myself first. I am Neil Simon Salinas and for today I will transform again as sermon. Yes, sermon. Today we will tackle about infer character traits from a reading text. Class, do you have any idea what does infer or inferring means? When we heard about words infer, it means conclude, deduce, gather, and judge. Infer implies arriving at a conclusion by reasoning from evidence. Inferring means figuring out something that the author doesn't actually say. You can use clues that are in the text and things you from your own mind. Sa Tagalog, ito yung hinuha o palagay na walang direktang patunay pero nabuo dahil sa mga ebidensya. For example, if you see your mom's bag on the table, you might infer that she's home. The clue there is bag on the table. Do you get it, class? Yes, sermon! Sometimes it is called reading between the lines and it adds a lot more meanings to the story. Reading between the lines refers to the act of understanding a deeper or hidden meaning behind what is explicitly stated. It involves interpreting unspoken implication, underlying emotion, or subtle cues in communications. How about character traits and feelings? Do you have any idea, class? Or what comes to your mind when you hear that words? Character traits and feelings are defined as the individual qualities or attributes that makes up a person's overall character. These are examples of characters' feelings: happy, excited, surprised, sad, worried, angry, and scared. And these are the examples of character traits: kind, loyal, industrious, responsible, thoughtful, cheerful, and resilient. Now class, we already know the meaning of infer or inferring and character traits. Let's proceed now in inferring character traits. Inferring character traits from a reading text involves analyzing the actions, thoughts, dialogue, and descriptions of character within the text. Here are some steps and examples to guide you, class. 1. Analyze the action. For examples, the boy shared his last piece of bread and water with the hungry strangers. What can you infer in this kind of situation? You will think past that the boy is generous and kind-hearted by his action and or what he done. Right, class? Yes, sermon. Number 2. Examine dialogue. Example, I know it's hard, but we can make it through this together, he said with a comforting smile. What can you infer in this kind of situation? You will think that he is supportive and optimistic about the situation. So in examine dialogue, this is what the character says and how they indicate personality traits. Right, class? Yes, sermon. Number 3. Interpret thoughts and feelings. Example, he thought to himself, I'll never let them down no matter what. You will infer that he is determined and loyal like Daniel Padilla's dog, Summer. Right, class? So, interpret thoughts and feelings is narration of internal thoughts can provide insight into a character's personality. Yes, sermon. Number 4. Consider reaction to conflict. Example, despite being accused unfairly, she calmly explained her side of the story without raising her voice. You will infer she is patient and still composed, right, class? So, consider reaction to conflict is how character responds to challenges can define their core attributes. Look at description by others. Examples. He always knows how to make people laugh, said Scarlett. You will infer that the boy is humorous. So, look at description by others are sometimes other characters or the narrator describe traits directly. Right, guys? Yes, sermon! Here are more examples in making inferences in our daily lives. If the teacher writes information on the board during a lesson, you infer that it is important information that you may need later, so you will write in your copybook. Next example, if your mom tells you to carry an umbrella, you infer that it will possibly rain. Last, if you see your boss arguing with an employer, you infer it is not the right moment to ask for a raise. Note, you may not always be correct in your inferences, but they are assumptions that you make based on the given clues. Another situation, you go home and see your father shouting a bit violent. What is your inference in the situation? Number 1, would you ask him for permission to go a party? Number 2, would you ask him for money? You will infer that if your father acts in that way, he must be angry. For that reason, it's not the right moment to ask for money or permission. Additional information. When you read, you need to make inferences about things happening in the story. This process will help you write your essay at the end of the unit. For examples, if I read that the main character hates old people but then later becomes friends with an old person, I can infer that a theme of this story relates to challenging your prejudices. Clues in the books plus my own thinking equals inference. Okay, that's all. I hope you understand and thank you for listening. Yes, sermon.